Well, hey there, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. All right, bear with me. Whew, okay, bear with me. We got to get our tech set up here. How is everybody doing? Happy Monday. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. It's Monday. It's going to be a good week because we are talking all about money this week, which is what we always talk about, but we're definitely going to talk about it this week. And actually, this week we're talking about setting up the money stuff in your business. I have gotten so many great questions, especially over the last few weeks, from folks who are just confused about bank accounts and accounting systems and taxes and all the basic stuff you've got to do. So that's what we're going to be talking about all this week. All right, hold on. I want to make sure. Hey, Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. I was trying to go into my phone so I could see who's on our stream because I can never quite tell on the computer. So welcome. Today is day number 1 of our Set Up Your Biz Money week. I don't know. We didn't really have a word for what this is, but we are here and we are doing this. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have some slides, but I'm going to tell you, I'm already feeling like I don't really want to stick to the slides. So we're going to see how long the slides last. Oh my God, did y'all just hear that? My husband just sneezed so loudly. He's working from home upstairs and it was so loud. So hopefully you didn't hear that. All right, let's go ahead and go to the slides because we're going to at least start there. Oh, let's change our background too so we get a little more color coming in. I always like to play around. There we go. I kind of like that. I kind of like the white. And as you're watching live, let me know that you're here and let me know if you'll have any questions as we go through this, okay? So again, this is day 1. We're going to be here for 4 days, Monday through Thursday. Each day, I'm giving you one thing to think about. Now, it may be that the thing I talk about today, maybe you've already done in your business. I still think it's good for you to be here because we're going to have questions come up and we're going to talk about some other stuff. So you heard, oh my God, it's a sneeze. I can't believe you heard that. That's embarrassing. He's really far away too. Like there are 2 doors that separate us and an entire floor. But anyway, yeah, we're going to be here for 4 days and each day we're going to talk about one different thing to do to set up the money stuff in your business. Okay. So one action item every day. I want to keep this super simple, super tangible. All right, let's go ahead. Let's pop over here. And let's see if we can get our slides working. So I'm going to run through some of these because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about all this stuff. I want to get into the meat. But I'm guessing that if you're watching this today, either here live or on the replay, it might be because maybe you're feeling stressed about the money stuff in your business. And I just want to tell you, if that's you, I totally get it, okay? Because I have been there before and I know what it's like to feel stressed about the money stuff in your business. I'm guessing you may also feel overwhelmed. There is a lot of information out there and it's really hard to tell like what's right and what is relevant to your business. So if you feel overwhelmed, totally cool. I get that feeling too. I'm guessing you maybe also feel frustrated because you're trying to do all the things and you're trying to build this awesome business and get everything up and running and get it all working. Oh, and by the way, you also have to figure out how to do accounting and how to do taxes and how to deal with all this stuff. And that is a super frustrating feeling. So if you're feeling any of that, just know that I've got you. Totally normal, okay? Now, I want for just 1 second, I want you to like sit back, take a deep breath, and I want you to imagine what it would feel like if all of the money stuff in your business was completely handled and you could actually focus on the work you love. I'm going to tell you honestly that my first year in business, this is not where I was at. And I know how to do the money stuff, but I didn't take the time to put all the systems and processes that we're going to talk about in place. So I was constantly stressed and trying to duct tape everything together, trying to make it all work instead of just setting aside that time to do the things I know I needed to do. And once I did them, I'm so glad because now everything works like clockwork. And I don't have to go into my business every single day stressing about the money stuff because I know that the systems I've put into place are doing that work for me. Cool? Okay. Now, I talk a lot about this concept of running a financially fit business. So what do I mean by that? And I'm going to be talking about it a lot these 4 days, but I also talk about it a lot just in general in the group here. So running a financially fit business means that you are no longer stressed out about the money. It means that you feel confident, that you understand the financial side of your business, that you're not sitting there going, I don't get this, or I need to hire somebody to explain it to me. It also means that you can use the financial information in your business to make better decisions and also to make more money in your business. So that's actually the big piece of it. That's like the magic of all of the stuff that we're going to talk about is that you can actually use it to build your business and make more money. One of the biggest misconceptions that I hear from folks about why we should worry about accounting and taxes and money is for taxes, is that we need to have these numbers for when we file our tax returns. And while that is true, it's actually not the biggest or the most important reason. I believe that the most important reason we should have the money stuff in our business figured out and set up and managed and in good shape is because having all of that information in an organized fashion, tracked as part of a system, will ensure that we have the information we need to make smart decisions about our business. And it'll give us the information we need to actually grow our businesses so that we can make more money. I don't believe that we can do that, at least not long term, if we're not paying attention to the money in our businesses. Cool? All right. So real fast here, you can put this in the comments if you want, or you can just say this internally to yourself, or if you've got a kiddo or a dog in the room, you can say it to them. But do any of these feel familiar to you? Do you feel like you're not a numbers person? Do you feel like you're not sure how to handle accounting and taxes and the other money stuff in your business? Are you afraid of doing something wrong when it comes to the money stuff? Or are you afraid of, getting penalized if you screw something up? Does it feel really hard to make money in your business? If any of those feel true, say it internally, say it to someone in the room, let me know in the comments, but just think about that for a second. If any of those feel true for you. Now, I also want to know if any of these feel true for you. If you feel like you're never, absolutely. If you feel like you're never going to understand this money stuff, so you've just got to hire someone, they're going to tell you what to do, and then it'll all be okay. Or do you ever say to yourself, if I could just hire an accountant and afford to hire an accountant, then they would handle everything and it would be fine? Or have you ever said to yourself, I don't need to worry about the money stuff because I'm not really making any money yet, so there's nothing to worry about? Or how about this one? If I just keep working hard, eventually I'll make money. So do any of those feel true? Have you ever said any of those to yourself? And by the way, there's no shame here. This is a totally judgment-free zone, so don't worry. But if any of those felt true, I just want everyone to take a step back. And I want to tell you something. I want to tell you that you absolutely can do this. I know that the money and the numbers stuff and the tax stuff and all that, I know it's not the most fun part of business, but it's such a critical part of business. And as I said a few minutes ago, it's not important just because we have to do it. It's also really important because it can help us actually grow our businesses. And like I said, I actually think it's a critical part of helping us grow our businesses. So I'm here to tell you that you absolutely can do this, and that what I'm going to show you today and throughout the rest of this week, and really in any of the ways that I serve you in this community, is that this stuff does not have to be that hard. What we have to do is just break through all the noise and all the BS that's out there, that a lot of it isn't true. And we've got to find the stuff that matters to your business, and we've got to put it in simplified ways so that you can implement it in your own business, okay? So that's what we're going to do here today. It's what we're going to do this whole week. Now, I want you to just think of some of these things, and you could screenshot this if you want, put it on your wall, but I want you to consider telling yourself some of these things every single day. Number one, that you are capable of doing this. Number two, that this stuff is not as hard and overwhelming as you think. Have you ever had one of those situations where you feel like something's going to be so hard, and you just put it off and you dread it, and then you finally do it and it's not as bad as you thought it was going to be? That's exactly what the money stuff is. I promise you, okay? Trust me, you can ask any of my clients. They'll all tell you that it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. Consider saying to yourself that you don't need someone else to figure this out for you, that you're actually very capable of doing this yourself. And also telling yourself that you're not afraid of the numbers in your business, that the numbers are not scary. The numbers are valuable information that you actually want to know, because they tell you things that can really help you build your business. I also want you to tell yourself that you're going to make lots of money in your business, that it is entirely possible for you to do that. And knowing the numbers and having the money stuff figured out is a component of helping you get there. And then lastly, I always love to tell myself this one every single day: I am deserving of a successful, profitable business. So, cool? All right, I just wanted to start off with a little bit of that stuff, because I know the money stuff can be super hard and super overwhelming, or that's what it feels like. And so sometimes it's nice to just kind of knock ourselves out of that thinking and remind ourselves that we can do this. And in one of my favorite gifts, that we are ready for this, right? All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. So the thing we're going to talk about today, step number one, day number one, is treating your business like a real business. Now, there are a few steps that you can do, or that I think you should do, to treat your business like a real business. But I want to talk about one in particular today, especially because I've seen this come up a lot actually over the last few weeks. I threw this quote in there because I love this quote: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right," by Henry Ford. And I just wanted to put this in there as a reminder that how you approach this stuff, the attitude you approach this stuff with, really determines whether or not you're going to be successful at it. So today's step number one, oh, and I forgot I had this follow-up one. So when I talk about treating your business like a real business, the reason, and I'm going to get into exactly what that means in a second, but the reason why I talk about this is because what I see too often is folks, especially those who are newer at business, and this isn't just when it comes to the money stuff, but it's especially when it comes to the money stuff, is that they are acting as if they're afraid to be in business. And sometimes I think that fear comes from what other people are going to think. Like, what if I'm not successful? Then I'll be a joke. I'll be an embarrassment. Sometimes I think it's our own fear of, well, if I act like I have a real business, what if I can't really do it? What if I can't pull it together? Then I've let myself down. So what ends up happening is we don't treat our business like a real business. We treat it like a hobby. We go out there, maybe we make a little bit of money, maybe we throw some things together, but we don't really put the stuff that we would need to put in place to actually have the business run like a legitimate business, right? And I see this again, I see this in legal, but I also see this especially in the finance area as well. So your attitude towards your business will determine others' attitudes towards your business. If you treat your business like it's real business, other people are going to do so as well. If you don't, if you treat your business like it's a hobby, then that's how people are going to treat you, and they're not going to take you seriously, and they're not going to pay you what you're worth. So that's the sort of frame for the action item today, is really thinking about how getting this money stuff in order is really important, because it's enabling you to treat your business like the real business that it is. Cool? So what does that mean? Well, today's action item, and the thing I wanted to talk to you about, step number one of treating your business like a real business, is separating the funds in your business. So what I'm talking about here is having separate accounts for your business. Now, this is true whether you are a sole proprietor, whether you are an LLC, whatever form your business takes. And by the way, if you are an LLC or a C corporation or an S corporation or anything like that, you have to have a separate business account. But even if you're a sole proprietor, I want you to get a separate business banking account for a variety of reasons. And by the way, we're not going to just stop with the business bank account, but we're going to get there in a second. So why do I want you to have a separate business bank account? Well, first of all, it will help you with accurate bookkeeping. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in our business, and we're actually going to talk about this tomorrow, is our accounting or our bookkeeping, which basically means tracking the numbers in our business and keeping a record of all of the transactions, whether they're revenues or expenses or payments in our business, okay? So having a separate business bank account makes it super easy to have accurate bookkeeping, because if every transaction in that account is for your business and for nothing else, not for personal, then it's super easy to just pull those transactions into our accounting system and track them automatically. Instead, if we have if we're mixing our business funds in our personal account, we've got to manually go through and dig out which ones are business and which ones are personal. So it makes it really hard to track the numbers in our business. Now, the second reason why it's important to have a separate business bank account is to actually treat your business like the real business it is. So there's this concept called business versus hobby. And so what this basically means is, as you may be aware, the IRS, the tax authority, the federal tax authority, and the states allow businesses to take deductions for expenses that you spend in your business, right? Those deductions help lower your taxable income, which in turn helps lower your tax. The problem is, or the challenge is, that they don't allow those deductions if your business is actually a hobby. And there actually is this little rule or I don't know if it's a rule, but idea of hobby income, where you can, if you earn money through a hobby, you can report it on your tax return. You have to report it on your tax return as hobby income, but you can't take deductions with it because it's not a business, right? Well, so let's say that you're in a situation, you're in your first year of business, and let's say you're actually in a loss situation. So it's your first year of business. This is not unusual. You've had a little bit of money come in, but you've spent a lot more. So your business is actually in a loss position. So you file your tax return and you show that loss. Now, in many cases, you can actually use that loss to offset other income. If you have a spouse that has income or you have a job that has income, you can use those business losses to offset that income, okay? But now let's say year 2 comes around and maybe you're still in a loss position, or year 3 comes around and the IRS decides to come in and look at your business. Well, they could actually decide that your business is a hobby and not a business if you've had losses for those 3 years. And what would happen in those cases, in that case, is you would actually not be able to take any of those deductions. They would have determined that you're a hobby. Not good, right? Right. But there are other ways that you can actually show to the IRS, hey, I actually am a real business. And this is really important because if they ever do question that you're a real business, you want to be able to say, nope, I'm a real business. And by the way, I'm acting like one. Here's how I can show you that. And one of the ways to do that is by having a separate business bank account, because most hobbyists don't go set up a separate bank account for their hobby money. So if you have a separate bank account and you have a separate accounting system, we're going to talk about that tomorrow, you're really showing to the IRS that you are a legitimate business. Now, kind of along those lines, the third reason to have a separate business bank account is a clear audit trail. So if the IRS or the state taxing authority does ever come in and audit you, instead of showing them your personal bank account and saying, okay, well, that was business and that was personal, that was definitely personal. Okay, I think that was probably business. That doesn't look good. And the IRS agent is not really going to take you on your word about stuff, and they're going to dig even deeper. Instead of doing that, if you have a separate business bank account, you can just show them the business bank account and say, this was all business because I have a business bank account. Easy enough, right? And the last reason to have a separate business bank account is because it makes you look more professional. Have you ever had those situations where you're going to start working with somebody and you say, hey, what's your email? I'll email you to get more information. And they give you their email and it's the name of their business at gmail.com. And have you ever had those moments where you go, I wonder why they didn't pay for the official professional email? And it kind of just for like a second makes you kind of question whether or not they're really a real business. Well, that's the same thing as not having a separate bank account. So if I get a check from a business that says, Joe and John Smith, I don't know, I made up those names, and they're paying me for something, and it's not a business account, it's their personal account, that's going to make me wonder about their business. Like, why are they paying business expenses out of their personal account? Now, this may not matter in your business, but for a lot of businesses that want to get credit or want to have relationships with vendors where they have better payment terms, that's going to be more feasible if the person you're asking for those better payment terms sees you as a reliable business. And again, one way to do that is by having that official business bank account, because it looks less suspicious than, hey, I paid you out of my personal checking account. Cool? So having this separate business bank account is good for a variety of reasons, but I think overall what you're going to find is, number one, it's going to make your business feel and look more like a real business. Number two, it's going to give you better and more accurate record keeping, which is going to be really important, not just for tax purposes, but for your own purposes. So that was the bank account, but I want to talk about one more thing before I give you some recommendations for banks if you're looking for those. This also, everything I'm talking about also extends to your other payment accounts. So this is your credit cards, for example. I highly recommend, if you're going to use a credit card, have a separate business credit card. Don't put those business expenses on that personal credit card if you can help it, because again, for all the reasons I just said, it's not really how a real business runs. The other thing I would look at are your payment accounts. So this could be Stripe or PayPal or Square. If you're accepting client payments through your personal PayPal account, that could create some issues down the road. So make sure you get accounts. If you're going to have those accounts, make sure you get them in the name of the business. And by the way, do not use personal apps for business purposes. What do I mean by this? I'm talking about things like Zelle or Venmo, which are cash apps. that sometimes people will use to accept payment for their businesses. And the reason people use them, by the way, is because they don't charge a fee. But the reason they don't charge a fee is because they're not actually intended for businesses. They're intended for personal use. And so if you use them for business, you're actually violating the terms of their service, and they could cancel your entire account. So just don't do it. Y'all, I also just realized I left the thing up at the bottom that says we'll be live soon. So we're going to take that down. JK. So again, I just want to clarify, you're going to get separate business bank account. If you want a credit card, separate business credit card. And then if you're going to accept funds from Stripe or PayPal or whatever it is, making sure that account is in the name of the business and not a personal account that you're using for personal stuff and then also going to use for business. Cool? All right. I do recommend one bank in particular. I'm going to pop it up on the screen here. Give me a second. Let me find it. Called Novo. And I particularly like Novo for a few reasons. So Novo is a free, completely free online bank. And they are designed to, there we go. They are designed to support small business owners and entrepreneurs and also folks in the online space. So I really like the fact that they understand what we do to begin with. Like I said, it's free, which is a huge plus. And I think they also do a really good job of having features that online business owners would want. So for example, they have a reserve system where you can set money aside for tax payments or for owner's pay or for investing back into the business. So if you're looking for a business bank account, megkwheeler.com/Novo, highly recommend them. But no matter who you choose, the takeaway from today should be to make sure that all of your financial accounts are in the name of the business and are completely separate from personal use. Okay, so just a couple of things before we wrap up. I wanted to actually share, this was a particularly interesting story, I thought, from a client of mine a couple of years ago, actually. And she had written this really nice long email to me. I've taken snippets of it. But she said, when I first started my business, I had nothing set up. I didn't have a clue. I wasn't tracking my income and expenses. And my clients were sending money to my Venmo account. So everything was going into my personal bank account. By the way, side note about Venmo. I just mentioned don't use Venmo for business. Venmo has just announced that they are coming out with a Venmo for business account. I have already gotten an email about it. A lot of folks have. So if you do want to use Venmo for business, you can, but please sign up for the Venmo for business account. Don't use the personal account. Anyway, sorry for my side note. Let's go back to our story. So my client, Abby, her name's Abby. Abby said, then tax time hit. Since I hadn't been tracking anything, it took me hours to go back through my bank statements and try to figure out what was business and what was personal. I also ended up owing a ton of money because I hadn't made quarterly tax payments. I had no money to pay it, and I was stressed that my business wasn't going to make it. Has anybody been there? Like, if you've been there, I'm sending you a lot of love, because it is very normal to have felt like Abby felt. I work with a lot of folks who are in this position where they got their business going and they get started and they don't deal with the money stuff at the beginning. And then all of a sudden something happens. And usually it's tax time, but it can be something else where all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. So if this is resonating for you, I'm sending you a lot of love right now. So Abby goes on to say, that's when I decided to get serious about my business. The first thing I did was set up a separate bank account for my business so that I would never again have to dig through transactions to do my taxes. So she did it for the reason of taxes, but she got a lot more out of it than just taxes. She said, it sounds silly, but this has dramatically changed my business. I'm no longer stressed about doing something wrong or not having enough money to pay my tax bill. Now I can focus on the parts of my business that I enjoy and know that the financial stuff is under control. That peace of mind is worth every penny. So just having your funds separate, I know it sounds like such a tiny thing, but having things, sort of neat and clean. In fact, I was pausing because I was talking to a client today who was talking all about energy. And energy around money. And for me, when I talk to folks where their money is all sort of mixed together, it's a really weird energy. And it feels really hard to kind of clear that space. But when things are really segmented nicely into where they're supposed to go, it just becomes so much easier to see what's going on with your business and to feel so much more comfortable that you've got things set up correctly. So I just can't stress enough how important this is. Okay, so let me ask you this question now. And again, don't feel like you need to publicly put this in the comments if you don't want to. But as you're watching this, just really thinking about, are you treating your business like a real business? And it may be that you don't have that separate bank account yet, or it might be other ways that you're not treating your business like a real business yet. And I would encourage you to kind of sit with that discomfort for a little bit and think about where you aren't treating your business like a real business and where maybe you could. So I also wanted to invite you and ask you this question of, do you want the confidence that comes from running a financially fit business? Do you want to know what that feels like? Do you want to wake up knowing that you've got systems in place that will help the money stuff in your business stay organized, that will help you keep cash in your bank account, that will help you have money for your tax payments, that will help you know where you're spending the money in your business? Is that something that would feel good for you? And if it is something that would feel good for you, I invite you to keep listening, because I'm going to tell you a little bit about my course. This is not a hard sell, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about my course, which can help you get there. So I'm guessing, and I said this at the beginning, but I'm guessing that maybe the reason you're here in this community or that you're here watching this today is because you feel confused and overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information out there. And that you have no clue where to start. And let me just tell you, you're not alone. You're literally the reason why I created this course. If that is you, you are who I created this course for. I'm guessing you might also feel stressed, right, about the money stuff in your business, that there's never enough, or you're not sure what to do with it, or maybe you're doing something wrong and you want to feel confident that you've set it all up correctly. And I'm guessing that, again, you may feel frustrated that managing this money stuff is just taking up so much time. If you're even doing it, it's taking up so much time and you've got so much else to do. And that to-do list is just getting longer. And, I don't want to spend time on this. I just don't want to spend time on this. Yes. Okay. Yes. I'm going to yes in there. So if that is the case, then I am inviting you to join me inside Biz Money Blueprint, which is my course. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it just over the next couple of minutes. And again, as I'm doing this, feel free to drop any questions you have about what we talked about today, or just in general, or about the course. I'm here. I will answer your questions happily. But Biz Money Blueprint is the only program of its kind that not only shows you exactly what you need to do to set up all the financial pieces of your business, but it also gives you the tools to then use those numbers to make more money. I've said this at the beginning. I'm not doing this just so that you don't screw up your taxes. I'm doing this because I understand the power of your numbers and the ability to, at any given point, pull up the numbers in your business and hear the story that those tell you is so freaking huge and can have such a huge impact on the direction of your business and the growth of your business. So, what is Biz Money Blueprint going to do for you? That's always the big question, right? Well, it's going to help you get your business formed the right way. So if you haven't yet delved into the legal entity options, we talk about those in Biz Money Blueprint. It's also going to help you set up your accounting system to work for you. It's going to help you with that business bank account. We talk all about bank accounts in there. It's going to help you understand your business taxes in a stress-free way. So we talk about putting a tax plan in place. We also dive into actually understanding what the different taxes are that you have to pay. It's going to help you figure out how to pay yourself and others, whether they're contractors or employees. How do you do that? What does that process look like, both in terms of the system, but also finding the money and how much do we put aside for that? And then it's also going to help you create a process to know your numbers so that you can make more money. Checking in with our numbers is critically important. It's not just about setting up the systems. It's about continuing to use those systems to get that important information. So there are 5 modules in Biz Money Blueprint, and I forget exactly how many lessons are in each, but it's not a huge amount of content. And I say that because I know sometimes, especially with topics like this, folks can feel like, oh my God, this is just another course and it's going to take me forever. You can honestly binge Biz Money Blueprint in a weekend if you wanted to. Don't necessarily recommend you do that unless you love this stuff. I recommend you kind of take it piecemeal and leave some time to get each step implemented. But you can definitely do it if you want. So the 5 modules are setting up your business. Again, that's bank accounts and EINs and legal entities. Second module is accounting. We're going to talk about accounting systems. We're going to talk about how to make the accounting tracking process so much simpler for you so that you're not constantly doing manual data entry, because I'm guessing that's not why you went into your business. We'll talk about, should you get a bookkeeper or not? The third module is taxes. I've already kind of explained what we're going to talk about in there, but basically giving you everything you need to know so that you can manage your taxes. And we do talk about whether or not to hire an accountant. So if that's something you're thinking about, but you're not sure, we'll talk about that as well. Fourth module is all about paying people, yourself and others. And then the fifth module is knowing your numbers. So really, again, using that important data to build your business, grow your business, and make more money. Okay, so exactly what do you get in Biz Money Blueprint? You're going to get the program itself. That's 5 modules with videos and resources, and there are a few bonuses as well. So bonus number 1, you get lifetime access to all this content. So you do not have to do this right away if you don't want. You can come back to it when you need to. And by the way, that includes all of the updates I do in the future. And spoiler alert, we have a huge update coming in February. So you will get all the updates in the future. Bonus number 2, weekly live office hours with me. I'm guaranteeing those at least through the end of 2021. I'll probably keep them going longer as long as people show up. But that's a great opportunity for you to hop on a call with me and get your questions answered. Bonus number 3 is my Money Meetings Toolkit. These are all the checklists and guides and tools that I use to check in on my numbers on a regular basis. I'm giving you everything you need so you don't have to create your own. And then bonus number 4, probably one of the most valuable bonuses, is my quarterly tax calculator. So this is a calculator that you can use to literally type in your numbers and it'll spit out what you need to pay in your quarterly tax payments. It saves you a lot of hassle, a lot of time, and it deals with what I think is maybe one of the less fun aspects of the business money stuff. So what does it cost? Okay, that's like the big question, right? And by the way, you can get all of these details by going to megkwheeler.com/join, JOIN. So you've got 2 options when it comes to Biz Money Blueprint. You can either pay in full today, one payment of $497, or you can do 4 monthly payments of $125. So you've got 2 options, whichever you'd prefer, totally up to you. I will tell you, I've got 2 special bonuses that are going on right now. So the first special bonus is if you do pay in full. And that is that you get one 30-minute one-on-one call with me, ask me all of your biz money questions. You can actually use this at any point within 6 months. So you don't have to use it right now. You can go through the course, get some stuff set up, and then use it if you'd like. But that is yours to use when you pay in full for a Biz Money Blueprint. And then the second bonus, which is a truly limited time bonus, is my brand new Profit Maximizer course. This course is coming out on February 15th. It's the goal here is that it's really designed to help you maximize your profits. So we're going to be looking at everything from limiting your expenses and how to prioritize those, to reinvesting your money back into your business to make more money, to actually creating offers that are more profitable. So keeping more of that money that you're earning. Like I said, it comes out February 15th. And because I don't want to create another course that's going to take forever. And oh my gosh, you've got so much to do already, right? I am creating this in very bite-sized little modules. So each one is going to be no more than 10 minutes. And each little module, each little video is going to have one specific action item. So literally you could go for a walk, listen, do the action item, and you're good. And because I do everything through Kajabi, you can actually get it on the app. So you can literally listen on the app. So super bite-sized, super actionable, but you get access to that Profit Maximizer course when you join Biz Money Blueprint by this Thursday, January 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So you've got a couple of options here. You can either continue to stay confused and be frustrated, and I don't want that for you, or you can follow my proven roadmap to setting up the money stuff in your business. I have truly gotten Biz Money Blueprint to it's an art, it's a science. It is in my opinion, perfect roadmap to setting all this stuff up without anything extra, because I don't want you to have more stuff than you need because you're so busy. You don't need that, right? So you've got that option. I want to reiterate here, we talked about this at the beginning, that you absolutely can do this. I know this stuff feels super overwhelming, but you can conquer the money stuff even if you are not a numbers person. You can conquer it even if you don't have a lot of time. I've already talked about some of the ways that I've sort of built efficiency into Biz Money Blueprint and the Profit Maximizer course. And yeah, you can do this even if it kind of makes your head hurt a little bit. If you have learned anything about me, hopefully you've learned that I try to make this stuff fun. We have a lot of fun inside Biz Money Blueprint. So I wanted to just give you a couple of glimpses into some of the students who have gone through Biz Money Blueprint. So Krista is the owner of Bark and Buckle, super cute company, by the way. And she says this course was totally worth the money. It provided just enough detail that I didn't feel completely overwhelmed, but confidently feel like I get the gist of this whole finance thing. There was just enough content that I was able to finish the course without feeling like it was a burden. And then Ashley, who is a business coach, said she knew she needed to set up her accounting and taxes and stuff, but she wasn't convinced that Biz Money Blueprint would actually make her money. After finishing the course in 1 month and implementing everything she learned, she tripled her sales in the next 3 months. And that is what I love to hear. She used her numbers to actually make more money. So, couple of things I wanted to address before we wrap up. If you are thinking, well, I can figure this stuff out on my own, I don't need to spend money on a course, then I'm here to tell you that you are absolutely right. You can figure this stuff out on your own. I didn't create Biz Money Blueprint because you can't do it. I created Biz Money Blueprint for people who don't want to waste time Googling or trying to piece together information, and who would rather just get the information they need, get the roadmap they need, get the stuff set up, and call it a day. That's why I created Biz Money Blueprint. If that's not something you're interested in, then that's okay. This isn't the only option. If you're thinking that you're going to wait till you have more sales, I totally get that too. Oh, hold on. Getting a phone call. Bad time to get a phone call. I totally get this idea of, I'm going to wait till I have more money. Let me just tell you this. If you wait to set up the money stuff, I promise you're going to regret it. And I don't say that lightly. I say that because I genuinely care about making sure that you have everything good to go so that when your business does take off, you're not scrambling to put it all together. I just went through quarterly taxes with my tax prep clients, the ones I do tax prep for, and I brought on a bunch of new clients this year. And there are a chunk of my clients who had to make really big payments for fourth quarter for 2020 because they didn't have a tax plan in place. This is one of the things we talk about in Biz Money Blueprint. So, this is what happens when you don't deal with this stuff now and you wait, and then all of a sudden you're making money and whoops, now you've got to figure it out. But now you're also busier because you're making money and you've got more clients and you've got more people, okay? So thinking about it now can really save you that hassle down the road. Also, there are a lot of benefits to doing the money stuff right now, especially when it comes to taxes. So for example, if you do have a lot of expenses in your business, maybe even in a loss position, we want to make sure that we're doing a good job of tracking and documenting those, because those can actually benefit you now, even before you've made profits. The other thing I'll say too is, if you wait until you have more money or you have more sales, then you actually have to go back and clean up everything. So it's a lot easier to start fresh when you don't have a lot going on, if you know what I mean. Okay, so the other thing you might be thinking, whoops, let's see if I can get my slides back here, is that you can't afford it. And I get that. I truly get that. Let me just say this, by the way, if anyone is interested in Biz Money Blueprint and you feel like even with the 4-month payment option, it's still not an option, reach out to me, support@megkwheeler.com. Let's see if there's something we can do, because I don't want anyone to not have the guidance and support that they need. But I get this fear of, I'm not sure I can afford it. So let me just say this. Using the information that you will learn in Biz Money Blueprint will actually help you save and make money. Because when you don't have good money systems in place, it's highly more likely that you're going to pay fines or penalties or fees or interest. And when you do have those good systems in place, they really cut down on mistakes like that. The other thing I will say is Module 5, I talked about where we get to know your numbers. That's where the magic happens. That's where I teach you how to use your numbers to make better business decisions. That will make you more money. Because as you use that information to make those better decisions, it'll help you really grow your company based on what's working for you now. And if you don't know that information, it becomes a lot harder to grow. So if you're feeling like, I'm not sure I can afford it, I'm not sure you can't not afford it. Did that make sense? Did I say that the right way? I think you know what I mean. Because I don't want you to be like my new tax prep clients who are scrambling to come up with the money to make their quarterly tax payments because they weren't prepared. Or other people I've seen who end up getting hit with huge fines and penalties because they didn't track their numbers correctly, or they had deductions that ultimately were disallowed because they didn't do a good job of tracking their numbers. So that's what you can't afford, in my opinion, is that happening to you. And I don't want to see that happen to you. So I'm going to leave it there for everyone. Again, you can learn more about Biz Money Blueprint by going to megkwheeler.com/join. I've put just a few other students here who have gone through the course as well. I'm very happy to answer questions about this. Feel free to drop them in the comments below. You can reach out to my team at support@megkwheeler.com. I will just say this about Biz Money Blueprint, and I said this at the beginning, this is not a high pressure sales situation. Biz Money Blueprint is not your only option for figuring this stuff out. I hope it's the option you choose. I hope you decide to let me be your guide in this. But even if this is not the option you go with, I encourage you to find a way to set up the money stuff in your business, whether it's with me or with someone else, because it's so critically important and I know it's going to change your business. So I'm going to leave it there. Again, head to megkwheeler.com/join. Don't forget that to get completely free access to my brand new Profit Maximizer course, you've got to join Biz Money Blueprint by this Thursday, January 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. And again, if you'll have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be back here tomorrow for day number 2 of Set Up Your Biz Money stuff. We're going to be talking about accounting systems tomorrow. And again, don't forget, go ahead and set up that bank account today. If you haven't done so already, I will see you all back here tomorrow. Bye for now.